Good morning. Welcome to Rabbit Hole Roundtable Talks, the show where we take a topic and we deep dive into it. Today, I'm joined with my co-host Mino, and today we're going to talk about friendships and, more importantly, our friendship. What's up?
Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the show. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good. I can't complain at all.
I am not doing good.
Oh my gosh, what's up?
You know why?
Yeah, let me hear it.
Just been playing this stupid game where, dude, I believe 90% of people playing that game
Mm.
don't have a brain. Like they made a straw or something. I don't know. Like somebody gave a horse a game, a phone, and was like, play this game, horse.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I don't know.
Oh man.
But
So,
otherwise, I'm good.
so if you're Today we have a special stream to Facebook just because of the topic at hand and because most of our mutual friends are on Facebook, so I guess they be okay to listen in. And we think we should do every now and then do a special Facebook stream until we get our official Facebook page up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. Especially like today where we kind of doing like a more like a casual stream,
Yeah.
you know.
hmm So if you guys have
Also,
anything to say, just drop it in the chat and I will respond. Go ahead.
also,
hmm
we dropped the ball.
I know what.
Your birthday,
Oh yeah.
we dropped the ball so hard, man.
Oh man, it's not our fault. I mean, they'll find out why soon. But it's like, it would be hard to do,
Yeah.
man. So I went to Virginia to see Mino last weekend for my
Maryland.
birthday, Maryland. But I landed in VA, didn't I?
So, okay, let me just clarify. Like the DC area is called the DMV area.
Mm-hmm.
That's DC, Maryland, Virginia. And it's because like let's say like this, my hand is the border for like Maryland and Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
DC is like right here. So like it's all like one area. Everything that's around DC
Mm.
and DC is like kind of like one area pretty much. So like the areas where you were is like really close to DC and the areas where I live is really close to DC.
Mm.
So they kind of all like meld together because we all live kind of like on the border with each other.
Gotcha. So I landed on Thursday and tried to surprise him, but it didn't work thanks to
Oh man.
friendship.
Dude, let me tell y'all, right? This man, okay, first of all, I have to give y'all props, you and my wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because first, your wife nearly ruined it. When we were
Crazy.
streaming,
Mm-hmm.
I think, well, were we streaming or were we just talking or something?
After the stream, we were talking.
Yeah. So after our stream, we just talking. And his wife was like, I don't remember. Can you tell the story? I don't remember what happened, but she somehow leaked it.
So we were talking to you guys, and then she was like, "Oh, that's where you're gonna stay when you go up there." And I was like, "Oh my goodness."
Ah, yeah. And you know what's funny? So after she did that,
hmm
I was like, in my head, I was like, well, I guess he coming here at some point in the future. Like I didn't have like it gonna happen soon. I was like, eventually it
hmm
gonna happen, like maybe a couple of years. So then I was like, telling Diana, like, oh, I think he plans to come here.
hmm
Cause she was like, why would Aisha say that? And I was like, maybe he plans to come here. And she was like, no, maybe she just thought that he planned a trip for her. And
Oh,
I'm like, that don't make no sense. That don't make any
leakers,
sense.
just leaking information.
So then I just put it on my head. I was like, okay, well, Kurt probably coming here.
Mm,
Sorry, wanted coming here.
don't matter.
And at some point, he gonna be here. So cool. At least I know he have it in the works planning. I didn't know when you was coming.
Yeah.
So then now, on your birthday, my wife was like, we're going to go to a party, so make sure you have Friday off.
hmm
Make sure you have that day off. We're going to a party with my friends, her friend. and we're gonna get wild and crazy. So we're gonna buy some alcohol. We're gonna buy some patches. Let
Mm-hmm.
me see if I can show a picture of the patches.
The hangover patch.
A
Mm-hmm.
hangover patch. It might not work because you know how with these backgrounds how it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
But she was like, let's buy some patches. Let's buy some buy some stuff for the party. I was like, okay, cool. I'll budget for this. Budget for it. I'm excited to go to the party, by the way.
yeah,
But then I'm like, oh yeah, but it's also Wanted's birthday. I need to make sure I spend time with him. So I was like, bro, I gonna be drinking all day with you, and I gonna live stream the party, so it's like you there,
yeah.
right? I was like, that's the best I could do for his birthday. Like I know that he would probably like to be here at the party if he was here in person.
Mm-hmm.
So then hyping me up, like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. Like, you hyping me up, like,
Yeah.
yeah, bro, that sounds like a good idea. I'm like, all right, cool. So I excited for the birthday, you know. I'm like, I don't know if I really want to drink the whole day, but I gonna try it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So now the day of your birthday. Oh, besides that, then I was like, oh, before we go to the party, I need to get my passport updated, which is true. She does have to get her passport updated because ever since we got married, she hasn't changed her last name. I mean, on the passport, her last name didn't get changed.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, okay, I had the money put aside for this. Let's go do it. Friday. So
Mm-hmm.
Friday, I mean, she said let's do it Friday. So Friday now, she's like, oh, the lady for the passport says she gonna meet us outside. And I'm like confused. I'm like, why would the agent bring out the whatever she needs to bring out, like paperwork or whatever it is?
That's
Then
funny.
she was making some good I'm gonna lie, her excuses were dumb, but I believe them.
Oh man.
Like thinking back, I'm like, why would I believe that? So she was like, they keep changing the location for the office for the passport. And the airport is very busy now and all kind of stuff she's saying. So I'm like, okay, the location keep changing. We're not going inside the airport. We have to go by the arrivals instead of wherever the office is.
Yeah.
Um, then she said the lady gonna meet us outside and give us the paperwork so we don't have to stop like park and stuff. I was like, oh, that's really nice of her, I guess. Like that's weird, but that's nice. So now I drive into the airport and I'm like, you gonna be late for your appointment? She's like, nah. Oh no. Before that, when I pointed in the navigation on my phone to
Oh
go to the
man.
airport, so Wanted has his location shared with me at all times, basically.
Yeah.
So normally when I look at my phone, I go down to Florida, I see Wanted in Florida, right? As always. This time when I look at my phone, Wanted is in DC. And I'm like,
Oh man.
why is he in DC? I turned to my wife and I'm like, babe, why is Curtis in DC? I was like, that must be a glitch. Let me text him. I was like, wait a minute. What if he in DC and tomorrow for his birthday he gonna drive down to where I live and surprise me?
Mm-hmm.
Let me not ruin the surprise. So I deleted the text messages, deleted the picture, everything. I took a screenshot
Oh my
and I was
gosh.
like, babe, how I gonna pretend like I surprised? Like I was like, when he come to see me, I have to pretend like I'm
Oh, that's
surprised, right?
funny.
And I was like doing like fake, like, wow, bro, what? Like that kind of stuff. So then she's like, no, maybe it's just Google Maps glitching. You know, that happened to me before. One time I was saying I was in Texas when I was not in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought I was being hacked. I was like, I guess that makes sense. I was like, but should I text him and ask him? And I was like, I won't text him and ask him in case he is actually here and trying to surprise me.
Yeah.
So no, we get to the airport and she's like, well, the lady says she's gonna be in a gray or a black hoodie or a black shirt and she'll be standing by the arrivals. I'm like, all right. So I'm looking out for a woman, right? In a black hoodie.
Oh my gosh.
So then I drive in and I see this person from a distance waving. And I think that's her. Dude, I ain't gonna lie, from far you look like a woman a little bit because of your hair.
Yeah.
and like not like a woman like you look like like feminine,
Feminine,
but
yeah.
more like you know them bulky women who like kind of look masculine.
Mm.
That's why I thought she was like a masculine looking, like butchy looking, like stud looking.
Golly.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
Man.
like wolf.
Life did not treat her well. So so I drive over, um, I pull up, and I realize, wait a minute, that's not a woman. And then I was like, hey, hi, wanted. And I was like, wait, y'all tricked me? And at that point, I was like, oh, y'all actually did surprise me because that wasn't the surprise I was expecting,
Good. That's
you
good.
know? And then after that, we got lost for like,
Dude, we got lost at the airport for like 30 minutes. We went into like the parts where the airplanes will land. It's like, what are we doing here? Should we be here?
bruh,
No, but we can't go back.
we was driving in areas that says authorized vehicles only.
Oh my
Like we
gosh.
was I was like so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, police gonna like
Yeah.
the FBI or somebody gonna be like, what are you guys doing here or something?
Air control and just stop us. Like, what you guys up
Oh,
to? Man. But
oh
it was
man,
good though. I had a good time overall.
me too. It was a good surprise. It was good vibes, good conversations, good rest. Like good games of Pokemon Unite, which is a
Yeah.
game that stressed me out right before this show.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and so my background. This is a picture we took while we were out one night. This is a back in the day picture when we were in undergrad.
Yep, yep.
And then this is a picture of us at his birthday party this year. And dude, we look pretty much exactly the same, right?
Definitely.
We even
I
stood in the
I
same
some
like,
I somehow got darker and you somehow got darker. So you try and catch up, I guess.
hey, cheers, man. Cheers to getting darker, you know what I'm saying? But yo,
Mhm.
look at what was I gonna say about this? I forgot. It's okay. I get more hair on my face though.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, a lot more. Golly.
Yeah, yeah. We upgraded, man. We had to glow up somehow.
For sure.
Yeah. So that
So,
picture was around 2000, I say 2008, 2009. And then the other one is, well, last weekend. And then we're supposed to stream parts of the event, but like we were busy the day of the party. We had to
mhm,
go see people right before the
which
party.
I wish we didn't.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it wasn't as eventful as it could have been, you know?
yeah, I wish we had just stayed and drank or something instead and just be social with each other.
Yeah, 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 yeah. MK still blind. Yep, still blind. People on Facebook always saying,
Golly, golly.
uh,
Yo, and the funny thing is, right? So here we are, we going to the party, and I'm like, let me put my contacts, let me call the Uber and then put my contacts in. It shouldn't take long.
mhm.
Man, I was so intoxicated. I fumbling with the contact like
Why you can't pregame before contacts though?
you cannot. Which is funny because I've done it before though.
Oh my gosh. But
I put my contacts in while intoxicated before.
let me just say, whoever invented that hangover patch needs a Nobel Prize or something, because the hangover patch works the next day and the night of.
Hmm.
Man.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a story, right? For my wedding anniversary, we went to Miami Beach
Mhm.
and we used the patch. That's the first time I ever used the patch. No.
Yes.
Yes. First time I ever used the patch. And so we went into the club. We paid for like bottle service and for like a VIP area.
Mhm.
Because we on our anniversary. Let's live it up.
Yeah.
By the way, after doing that, I can't go back. Like that's the way to go. Like every time. We got a full like the biggest bottle of Grey Goose. We got two pitchers full of like one was cranberry and one was pineapple of
Mm,
juice, unlimited of that. Like as soon as they finish, they just replace it.
wow.
That's cost way more than how much we pay, or at least it would have cost more if we had just like buy the shots individually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it costs less than if we just buy the shots individually.
Gotcha.
So my wife and I, we dancing, we drinking. First of all, some people were next to us.
Yeah.
We helped them finish their bottle
So
because they were
courteous.
like, we're going to leave soon. You guys want some? We're like, yeah. Then our bottle came. We drank half our bottle, so we drank half of theirs and half of ours, more than half of ours,
That's wild.
dude. And the whole
We helped them
time, we
finish their
never
bottle.
felt like fully like drunk. It's like it kept like we kind of there. We're like in that sweet spot. Everybody know that sweet spot when you've been drinking.
Yeah.
Whereas like I wish I could be in this sweet spot forever, or like I wish this sweet spot I wouldn't go past this.
Yeah.
You know, we were just in that sweet spot. We had fun, went home, went to sleep, wake up the next day. It was like we never drank the night before.
Yeah.
Crazy. But you told me a story about when you was in St. Thomas.
St. Croix.
It was St. Croix.
Yeah, I took a friend of mine with me to St. Croix over Christmas break. Because, that's when we have a break from UVI and whatnot. So
Hmm.
I looked up the patch before because he talked about it. And I actually went and got it. So I got the patch for us. And I brought it to St. Croix. And then we were like, okay, tonight's the night. We're going to go village. Because we only had like one night to go village. So we said we're going village tonight and we're going to turn up. He's like, okay, cool. Put on the patch at home, pre-game a little bit. Pre-gamed a lot at home. Then we left, got there, drank some more. And then it's like we were at that plateau and we just couldn't
Hmm.
cross it. And I feel like the patch moves
Yeah.
the plateau for you every single time. So like you just chasing it. I
Yeah.
saw one of my friends from elementary school and she was like, oh yeah, my her aunt was getting married. I was like, really? Okay. So we just went into the wedding, into the reception, started drinking, dancing. Man, I know she was upset. She had to be.
Why?
Cause we stole the show. We were the wedding crashers.
I mean, hey, you ever watch that movie, Wedding Crashers?
Yes.
I think people who crash weddings, as long as you ain't like being disruptive,
Yeah.
they probably hype it up. Like, yeah, I think you were fine.
Yeah.
As long as you didn't steal the show from the bride and the groom. No, that's wild. Like,
I think we did.
damn, that's wild. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, talking about that plateau that keeps moving,
Mm.
it's crazy because on one hand, you kind of want to like test the limit, but on the other hand, you're like scared because you're like,
Scary.
well,
Yeah.
I know that I would never normally be able to drink this much. So it's kind of scary that I've been drinking this much and I still like alive right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um, I don't think we should go into much details about the party. It was just a fun night. Oh, actually, I really enjoyed it because I don't go out as much as I did before. I never realized I actually kind of sort of miss Caribbean clubs a lot.
Yeah,
'Cause I know it had a less chance of getting shot, obviously. But like, it was just a good vibe all around. The music was good. The people were good. Everybody was dancing, having a good time. And then
yeah,
we stole the show there too.
yeah, we did.
At one
I,
point,
I
we had
kind of
we had
have to
a
tell some
whole we had
stories.
a whole dance circle around us, so we were just going off. Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
It reminded me so much of like UVI days.
Hmm.
I mean, it reminded me of one party in particular. I remember we went to a party when we were in UVI and we went in, everybody was dancing with everybody, even people that I thought, oh, I think they don't like me. Let me leave
Yeah.
them alone.
Hmm.
Like even they were dancing like with like us and stuff. It was just a good vibe back then, and it was like the same kind of vibe now. It was
Yeah.
like everybody was just dancing with everybody. It wasn't no like people like looking back and like stop dancing kind of vibe,
Hmm.
you know? If somebody didn't want to dance with you, like to be fair, I think both of us would go up to people and be like, come dance with me, or like we would make it obvious that we try and dance with them. It
Yeah.
wasn't just like a sneak up behind somebody
Hmm.
kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So people, if they didn't want to dance, they would just shake their head no. and we would just like stay dancing in front of them for like a little while longer, and then be
Yeah.
like, all right, peace, like no big deal.
Hmm.
And I think that's was good because a couple people that did that too. I would go back to them later and then dance with them anyway, and they would be like, "Yeah, you cool. You seem like you cool. I'll dance with you."
Yeah.
So I would say one story from that night was me hyping you up. Dude, oh no, the dude who was hyping you up.
Oh my
That's a
gosh.
story
He was
we should
hyping
say.
us up. He saw us dancing. He was like, "Oh, really?" He came over and started dancing too. I was like, "Oh, okay. How you doing, sir?"
That man was a fan, dude.
We buy us drinks. We buy him drinks. It was a good night, man.
Yeah. I feel like we buy a bunch of people drinks that night.
Did we? Maybe. That's just how I am though. That's how I always been.
Yeah. We were buying men drinks, women drinks. We didn't care. As long as you was looking like you had a good vibe, you're getting a
Yeah,
drink.
yeah. It was just great.
Yeah. When I was thinking back on that memory, I was like, man, I wish I did this or I wish I did that. But like the more I think back on it, it's like, actually, it was really perfect the
Yeah,
way it went.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did wish we streamed the day after, but after that night of what 6 hours of dancing straight, nah, we just stayed. Even though we weren't hungover, we couldn't move. My knees were like, "What are you doing?"
We all,
Oh man, that's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, even the night of when I was dancing, my freaking legs start to cramp up. That's the only reason I stopped dancing. I was like against the
I
wall.
saw
She
you on
was
the
like,
wall.
"What are
I'm
you?"
like, "What's going on? You taking a break?"
My legs and calf were cramping up the whole time. I was like, "No, I cannot dance." Am I old? I literally was questioning myself. Am I old? Have I gotten there?
It's funny. That's funny. Oh man. Um, I feel like we should talk about how we got here, anyways. How we got
Okay.
to 2021 and still friends.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. We met in biology class at UVI on St. Croix. I think it was, well, it had to be 2006 to 2007. That's what the school year started. I had just graduated, just gotten there, green, didn't know anybody. So I was just doing what I normally do in school, which is just go to class, go home. But I also like to be early. So I was always there like an hour early before class. A, to study, and B, to try to socialize. So when I got there early, normally the class would be either locked or open. When it was open, we'd go inside, and then you and our other friend would be watching Naruto or Michael Jackson videos or just anything on YouTube. And I just be
That's
there,
when YouTube like first came out.
yeah, and I just be there chilling with
Yeah.
y'all. Never watched Naruto, didn't really care, but it was something to do, so we would do that. Plus, our friends would actually help us study for exams really well because they always had some crazy acronyms of the systems and the parts of the body. I was like, damn, that's smart. But then it would stick
Yeah.
with you, and then we all passed, help each other out. Labs were fun, and then we started to hang out outside of class, which is like lunchtime or just in the library chilling, doing wild stuff. You were wild. You were wild.
Dude, I still wild. I just married now.
Oh my gosh. So chilling in the library, cafeteria, activity center, and then I share with you one night that cause back then we had Messenger. I don't know if you guys too young or too old to remember MSN Messenger. So we'll be talking all the time. We would play a lot of text-based games on the web.
Yeah.
What kind of nerds are we? Like we playing a game where you have to read the attacks and envision what's happening.
Yeah. Those were the like OG RPGs back
Yeah.
then.
And then we play a lot of flash-based games as well.
Mhm.
And then I share with you that I was undocumented at the time. I was like, this is the first person I actually told this to, and then you didn't even judge me. You actually tried to help me the best you could. Flash forward a couple months, we moved to St. Thomas, and then we lost that one friend who stayed on St. Croix, but we just became inseparable from then.
Yeah.
I'll take a pause here and let you go.
Yeah, yeah. You know, your memory is a lot better than mine because I don't remember anything. All I remember was we had a biology class together, and I remember us all staying outside and just like doing what you said, like studying and stuff, and
Mm,
talking and being social and stuff. I remember like you and I. So I'm a real paranoid person, right? I remember back then, maybe it was after you told me about being documented or whatever, and you were
mm,
like, "You're my best friend." I think you told me like I'm your best friend, and I was like, "Really? Why?" I was like, "Hmm, is he my best friend? I don't know yet. Let me take some time." I didn't feel like at the time I was your best friend, but you were my best friend. Wait, or the other way around.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think after that day, I started to really consider like, okay, if I'm his best friend, I need to like see if he could be my best friend too.
Mm,
I think in St. Thomas is when I start to feel like you're my best friend too.
yeah.
Because at that point, we were going through some crazy stuff together. Like, we had
Crazy.
so much adventures in St. Thomas, man. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of that built a lot of trust because for
Hmm.
me, it's really hard to trust people because of my childhood and other stuff.
Yeah.
So, St. Thomas showed that. And then I think at some point in St. Thomas, by the way, my story is obviously more vague than yours because, as I said, my memory is not good.
I'll help you.
In St. Thomas, I think that's when we start to like feel like brothers, and we start calling each other brother instead of like best friends.
Yeah.
And after that, I truly started to see you as my brother. Is like literally like family. Actually,
Hmm.
we used to go to people and say we're like
Yep.
brothers from a different mother or something like that.
Yeah.
We used to say a different way of that, but like the same sentiment
So
basically.
brothers from a different mother and father.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So after St. Thomas, I moved to the States. At the time, I wanted to like just be somewhere new, I guess. I was also dating somebody and it was kind of hard being long distance. So when I moved to the States to be with them and to take a year off from school, we kind of like stayed in contact a little bit, but we started to like drift apart.
Hmm.
So for like, I don't know how long I was living in the States, like 4 or 5 years, maybe 4 years, we weren't talking at all. Like we
Yeah.
would talk like here and there, like sporadically.
Hmm.
At that time, obviously, I still consider you my brother, still my best friend. But I was just like, well, we live far apart. He probably have like new friends that he like in person could interact with. So he
Yeah.
don't need me as much. So it's cool. Whenever he ready, I never felt like bad. I did feel a little jealous because I wish I was there,
Yeah.
but I never felt like jealous in like a negative way. Like I wish he wouldn't talk to those people or whatever. Like I only want him for myself kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But uh I will say though, like us talking those times,
Hmm.
but like, even though it was sporadic, helped me a lot because I didn't have no family. Me and the girl broke up, so I didn't have anybody at all, and I was really lonely.
Hmm.
But every time like we would catch up and stuff, it would like really like ignite. It would like get rid of the depression a little bit. So I would say like that was actually a good thing
Yeah.
back then, even though it wasn't as much as I would have liked, because in the end, it still come back. Like when you move to the States, now we just like act like it would never, like nothing ever changed. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I feel like it's strange that we both went through, I would say, dark times alone, and we still kept to ourselves because that's just how we are.
yeah, yeah. I remember one year I was living off. I had saved up some money.
Hmm.
I think I saved up like $12,000 or something.
12K?
Yeah,
It's a lot of money.
yeah. Luckily, because the girl I was living with, she literally paid all the bills, and she was just like, "Save your money for school."
Mm,
Because we were talking about, well, she was trying to push me to get married with her. And I felt like I wasn't ready yet because I was like, I don't have a good job. I was working at the time at a grocery store when her and I was dating,
mm-hmm.
in the meat department, packing up the meats. And I was like, this isn't a job I want to be married to someone with. Like,
Yeah.
and then she was in school to be an engineer. And actually she was done with school and she was working as an engineer. And I was like, this is bad. Like I'm a friggin' like loser, and you're like an engineer. Like, why would you even want to get married to me? You know, like I had my
Yeah.
doubts. I felt like I wasn't ready yet,
Hmm.
but she kept pushing for it. She was like, I don't mind. Like, you know, if you love me, let's get married and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the end, we broke up because of I don't know. I don't think as a guy I could get married to someone before I'm like, okay, I at least see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we broke up, which sucks because I mean, it didn't suck because to be honest, that relationship was kind of toxic, like overall.
Yeah.
Um, what was the story for? I forgot.
I was trying to say that we went through dark times alone and
Oh
we kept to ourselves.
yeah. Shit. ADHD. Okay, so
Oh
anyway,
man.
um, so she allowed me to save up.
Hmm.
Then I moved out of where we were staying together, and I didn't have a job because at that point I went back to school. I had just started back at school, so I didn't have a job. And I was looking for a job, but
Hmm.
it was so hard because I didn't have any work experience, never
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
any time in my life except for that one time at the grocery store. Didn't even realize you needed that experience. Everybody say, go to school, get your degree, get a good job. Nobody ever mentioned you need experience as well. So I didn't know.
Yeah.
So here I am, no experience in anything, back in school, hoping that this time I could get some experience while in school
Wild.
and living off of $12,000. For a whole
Jeez.
year, I live off of that money. At the time, I started messing around with another girl.
Hmm.
Didn't even know I could apply for government assistance. So here I am struggling with this $12,000. Dude, I was down to like $1,000
That's
by the time
crazy.
I got a job working at Subway.
Hmm.
Actually, I was down to less than I think I had like I could have paid my rent like two more times. And my rent
Yeah.
back then was like six something.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I could only pay my rent two more times. I would just take any job. I don't care. I just don't want to sell my body. That's the only thing. Like I was like, I'm not gonna do that. Like I'd rather be homeless.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
So then, I was like, at that time, I was so scared. Like I wasn't talking to nobody. I didn't want to ask my mom for help. I didn't want to like put anybody like burden anybody.
Hmm.
So I was trying to figure out, okay, if I end up being homeless, I could always sleep in a computer lab or sleep in a library
Yep.
or whatever. Like I was thinking of ways how to like survive being homeless, basically.
Hmm.
Like I could use a gym to shower. I don't have much clothes, so that won't be a problem. The rest of the stuff I'll just throw away, basically,
Yeah.
because I can't keep them. Like I
Hmm.
was literally making plans to be homeless. And then um a job opened up at Subway, and I came in, I was like, is a position open? Yeah. Okay. I went to Computer Lab, filled up, come right back. The dude was like, this is the fastest anybody ever applied. I was like, yeah, I need a job like right now, man. He's
Man.
like, okay, we'll think about it. I think I applied, I came back like three, four times, like, so the position's still open, so the position's still open. Eventually he was like, you know what? You have a job interview.
Yeah.
Dude, I come into the job interview dressed like button down, like a tie, everything
Oh
for
my
friggin'
goodness.
Subway.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Let me tell you, me and that became good friends. I still text him and stuff.
Hmm.
And he told me once, like, dude, when you came in with the suit and tie, I never see nobody come in for a job interview at my Subway like that ever.
Wow.
He was like, when I saw you come in, I knew you were going to be a hire. Because after that, let me just fast forward a little bit. I became a supervisor there at one point, and I had to do interviews myself.
Hmm.
People would just come in like dressed like bummy, like,
Bummy.
and I'm like, oh, that's why I was supposed to come in, like just a t-shirt and a jeans pants.
Oh my gosh.
Like one girl we hired, right? She actually had a tracking thing on her ankle, like the house arrest.
Yo!
A white girl. I was
Oh
like, what
man.
the heck? We hired her. This girl was wild. One day she went on a smoke break,
Mm.
never came.
Y'all gotta check the freezer for her, man.
She never came back. She went on a smoke break and never came back.
Man, that's crazy.
But yeah, after that, like, those hard times were crazy because living on $12,000 was already crazy, but I
Hmm.
didn't realize how crazy that was at the time. Like I thought, oh, it's fine, I'll get a job eventually, you
Yeah.
know. But getting a job with no experience is like impossible.
So I had a similar, almost similar. I was living alone. I only had enough money to pay rent and then buy a pack of bread and a pack of cheese. And that's it. So bread, cheese, and water. So I got to the point where I was extremely malnourished, but still wanted to go to the gym because it was free, But passed out in the gym. Passed out.
Damn, how many times?
Just once, and that was it. Never went back again. We went one night. I think I had my one sandwich that day, two sandwiches that day. It was a good day. I splurged a little bit.
Damn.
Then went to the gym, started doing something. I think it was these. Hold down
Yeah.
in front of the mirror, and then at one moment I see myself next to the mirror. And then I just wake up in the car. Yeah,
Damn.
he like you pass out. I'm like, oops, guess I can't do this anymore. But like, I also plan to like, I'll just buy a cheap car and live in the car. I could go to the beach and shower in the showers at the beach and live in my car. But I just held on for a little bit longer, and then Obama came with no, actually I met somebody as well who liked to eat but never ate leftovers. I'm like, this is a win-win. I could clean your fridge and you could just go on living. So that's how I sustain myself for the most part. So I'm grateful to her for that. But then Obama came with the Dream Act, and then that helped me fill out the paperwork. I got a job at UVI, and then the rest is pretty much okay from there.
Yo, people say that Obama ain't do nothing for people,
Hmm.
and it's like, bruh, the Dream Act saved so much people's lives. I could
Yeah.
imagine there are probably like several other stories similar to yours where people couldn't get a job because of their status
Hmm.
or their lack of documentation. And it's like, is that fair though? Like, if you grew up in a country as a baby, you didn't have a choice, really. Your parents may or may not have dropped the ball,
Hmm.
or they didn't have access to whatever they needed to do
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
And now you want to kick them out of the country to a place that they never grew up in and they have no way of understanding. Like, what if it's a
Yeah.
different language?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So
That's
I'm glad for
that's
Obama, man.
that's scary, man.
It is.
Yeah.
And then I look Mexican, so who knows if they kick me out the country?
Oh man.
Hey, Mexico struggling. Me the
Stop, stop, stop.
bread. Can I have some bread?
But we took 3 years of Spanish in college, right? Not three
Dude,
years, 3 semesters at least.
I am not good at learning new languages. Actually, I learn in German right now.
Oh.
Well, I was. My ADHD made me stop. Um,
I took
but
3 semesters of Spanish in college, and I know nothing because I had nobody to talk to.
yeah, I think when you're learning a new language, it's better to like immerse yourself.
Yeah.
Like make some friends who speak the language. Tell them only speak to me in the language, kind of vibe.
That's what I'm doing now at work. Most of my employees are Hispanics. I'm like, I'm gonna learn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wish we had an ad segment right now because this would be perfect for Duolingo.
Oh
Duolingo.
my God. Not a sponsor yet.
Yeah, but actually, Duolingo has been helping me learn Spanish and German.
Hmm.
So if you really want to learn Spanish, you could try that.
Cool, cool, cool.
All right. So now we talk about being in our worst times.
Mm.
So let's talk about our favorite memory back in UVI and our favorite memory now that we are both like adults, married, everything.
Uh, well, now my favorite memory would be like doing this, the podcast, and just chilling, talking, having somebody to talk to pretty much all the time. Like I could wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, be like, man, I just get my chest saying a message, put my phone down, buzz, buzz. Oh, he replied, and like we could like talk for a little bit, and then go to bed and wake up tomorrow and talk about it some more. So I really appreciate that. But back in the day, I have to think more on like what's the best memory, and if I can even share the best memory.
True. Oh
I
man.
can't go in that vault, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a little too dangerous. I want to share one, but I'm gonna leave out some details.
Try to.
There was a night in UVI North. They
Uh-huh.
had a big party, and I don't know. Watching you like be the bartender, that was a good memory. I mean, up until a certain point, that was a good memory.
So I can't be a bartender like that again because well I can't now with the patch. But back then it was like, what do you
Yeah.
want? I want a Hennessy and orange juice. Hennessy and orange juice? Okay. I give him the drink, I made another one, I drank the whole thing. That tastes good, you're right. Okay, what do you want? Vodka cranberry. I like that vodka. Give them one, me off myself, drink the whole thing. That was actually good. Okay. And that's what I did for the whole night.
Dang.
I end up
Dang.
I end up dancing with a bush. I was running up and down the stairs. I don't know what I was doing. Like, man, what am I doing? Yeah, it was.
Dang. That's funny because I remember I was dancing. I came to the bar. You can make me a drink. I think it was a hypnotic and vodka.
Hmm.
Then I went in, I come back out, you still there. I went in, I come back out, you still there. I went in, I come back out, you gone. I was like, where is Kurt? Where is he? Like, I spent like a good while looking for you for the rest of the night. I did not know where you were, dude.
I didn't know where it was
So
either.
then I saw you. I went into like so you North had a A, B, C, and D, right?
Hmm.
And we were in A. One time I saw you in C. I was like, oh, there he is. Okay, good. He doing his thing. He dancing. Good.
Oh man.
I got back to A. Then I went. I looked for you again. Okay, where is he? I think he was in the pool room, like playing
Wait,
dominoes or
I got
something.
down there?
Yes, you were all over, dude. I was like, where
Man.
does dude? You were like teleporting. I was like, let's not keep this up. Got back into A again. I was like, all right, I guess keep checking on you. So then at one point I really couldn't find you. And I think at that time, like the party was pretty much almost done. So I was like checking on you to like, see what you want to do next. Like you
Yeah.
want to like go out, you want to play a flash game or like,
Oh
Actually, no, I
boy.
lie. I actually had a girl I was gonna bring back to my room.
Damn.
That's what happened. I had a girl I was gonna bring back to my room. But then I went looking for you first, just to like make sure you're good. And then I found you, and then yeah.
That's how the story
And
goes.
I tell the girl, nope, can't do it tonight. Got things to do.
I'm needed elsewhere.
Yeah.
I woke up in your bed. I'm like, what? This is not my room.
Yeah, dude. I was scared, dude. I stayed up like all night, like trying to make sure you were still breathing and shit.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
scary, but I mean, I feel like at the same time, it's still a good memory overall
Yeah.
because I feel like that was like a testament to like our friendship.
Hmm.
Like I feel like a bad friend would have potentially like don't care and just like smash still, like just bring
Yeah,
the girl
yeah, yeah.
over.
Yeah.
But and I feel like, I feel like you would do the same for me. Like
Hmm.
if I was passed out or whatever, you would have make sure like I was good. So I mean, hey, often I feel like even like with marriage, friendship, family is like you kind of have a duty to make sure the person is doing
Yeah.
well
Yeah, yeah.
above like your own like pleasure or your own like comfort or whatever.
Hmm.
So for me, it was like a no-brainer. Like I have to take care of my boy. I can't leave him here like that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'll do the same for you too.
Man, let's not get too emotional now.
What do you mean? We're supposed to.
I don't like being emotional.
Oh man. So another
But
memory I have is us actually exercising together.
oh yeah,
And I
exercising
only
together
I
was
only
fun.
did that because you're my friend and that's what you were doing and I'm like, sure. But then
Hey,
after we stopped exercising together, I was like, I could do it myself. But then I was like, I can't. So in my mind, I'm like, oh shoot, he behind you. He can't pass you. So you were always behind me, chasing me around the court. I was like, that's what kept me going.
vibe.
Yeah.
I miss those days too, man. I love exercising. Like exercising for me is like fun,
Hmm.
but only when I do it with somebody else. When it's just me by myself, I get bored.
Hmm.
You know, when I'm with somebody else, is like I don't care if they like lifting more than me or doing better than me or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's like motivation, I guess. Or if
Yeah.
they're doing worse than me. Like for instance, I was exercising with somebody once and they was weak. But to me, it wasn't like in my mind like, oh, you weak. Like I don't want to exercise with you. It
Yeah.
was more like I want to help this person like get better, like get stronger.
Yeah.
So it was fun. My favorite memory now. Mm, I think the most recent thing is my favorite memory right now. Like before that, I think my favorite memory would be starting the podcast
Mm-hmm.
and like us trying to like do this whole adventure with streaming and stuff. Actually, we have a bunch of good. I have a bunch of good memories from now. Like us starting to invest in stocks.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. Like watching you like learn everything, and I just like, how is he learning this stuff so fast? Um,
You gotta be
but
a
yeah,
sponge, man.
doing this has been really fun. Like I know we started on Twitch. Like the journey been kind of long. 'Cause we've been planning to do this for like like couple years.
Yeah. About 2 years.
And then you just like, you know what, I'm gonna just start. And I was like, okay, I guess. You started on Twitch. I wish you actually no, like thinking back, I wish you had started on YouTube instead,
Yeah.
because YouTube more flexible.
Mm-hmm.
But that was because of my ignorance. I just assumed Twitch was the best place to start. So you started on Twitch, you became an affiliate. That was great. That was awesome. Then um now we on YouTube. Actually, we on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and anywhere audio podcasts are found, by the way.
Ooh, nice segue. I like that. I like that.
Nice saying, nice saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has been fun. This has been a fun adventure. Like even watching you blow up on Twitch, like with all them like them bots that followed you that one time. This man had one night where he was just streaming. Next, you know, he had like 500 followers or more. Like I was like, what the heck is going on?
And I just played with it. I ain't even. I played with it. Another memory I
Yeah,
have of us is actually walking together to do our laundry. Cause I think we had like a full laundry back then, so we had to like, what
yeah,
else we gonna do? We had a laundry up the road. Let's go, grab our bags and walk to the laundry. That was
yeah, yeah,
something else.
yeah, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. People often ask like if you could relive a moment, which one would it be? And I often think UVI days, man. Like
Yeah.
I had some times I regret. Well, I don't feel regret, but like
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had done it better or different. But honestly, overall, UVI was good.
Yeah.
Like I was a wild boy, man. I was a wild boy.
Nothing really changed. Nothing's really changed.
I toned down, I feel, I think.
Maybe, maybe.
Oh man. So now that we are here, what's our
Mhm.
plans for the future? So you came to visit me. I've been meaning to visit you when we were on our like anniversary. I meant to see y'all,
Yeah.
but you know,
That's
y'all
too far
live
of a
like
drive, man.
far. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we should do a trip, like probably like TwitchCon or VidCon or something like that, and just hang out somewhere
Hmm.
new to both of us.
Yeah, I agree. We should do something like that. Or I want to do a thing where we like visit friends from back in UVI days. Like I know we have a bunch of people who live in Texas that we know.
Mm-hmm.
We have a bunch of people who live in Atlanta. Well, I know people who live in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure we have friends all over the country. Or maybe they don't consider us friends, but people like we know.
Yeah.
Um, I would like to just visit people, like not to like rekindle anything or nothing like that, but like I don't know. I think it's like a vibe. Like often I feel like once you move on and become adults, it's like everybody just falls in touch. But
Yeah.
we still like talk to each other like sporadically, like on Facebook or like I might message somebody like, hey, whatever, whatever. But I actually have a friend who live in Japan that I want to visit too. But I actually think like it would be nice to like re-strengthen those bonds,
Yeah.
even though we might not be friends per se or
Mm-hmm.
like close.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's still nice to like keep your circle open in a way.
Definitely. Definitely. So I actually did some light research on friendships and the science behind friendships. And what you said is something important. So they interviewed a lady called Lydia Danworth, and it said research suggests that friendships can help us find purpose, meaning, stay healthy, and live longer. The intimacy, support, equality, and emotional bonds we have in our friendships are unique. And I agree with that. You know, you have different friends for different things, unless you don't have any friends and you have one friend for everything. But what you said that made me think about this was a quote. I think that people sometimes, especially in their 30s and 40s, they say, I just don't have time for friends right now. And that's a mistake. And I agree with that.
Yeah. I have a friend who actually is on what's that dating app?
Tinder?
Bumble? No, not Tinder. I think Bumble. I don't
Okay.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever app it is, apparently the app has like a friendship section. Like you could
Ooh.
just try and meet friends.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been doing that. And I thought that was a good idea too, because that person is an extrovert and is like they don't really have much people that they could interact with because their friends are always busy,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Their friends that they know are living in the same area are always busy.
Mm.
So they need like a friend who's like, hey, let's just go for some coffee, or hey, let's just go to a bar and just drink some sip something, you
Yeah.
know? I thought that was a good idea, like, but I also wonder like how deep can that friendship be if you meet somebody on an app, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think I can tell you. I don't think I have it here though. I think it's 200 hours before someone can become a friend, a
Mm.
good friend.
How much is 200 hours though? Like
What do you mean, how
a
much?
year?
No, what? No.
Like
200 hours? So 200 hours divided by 24, it'd be like 8 days straight.
8 days straight?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's like a good month with somebody could make them a good, can potentially make them a good friend. Not
Mm.
guaranteed.
I think you should divide it by 8.
8 hour days, probably get
Yeah,
24.3 or something.
25 days ish.
Yeah.
All right. So like a month of knowing somebody almost.
Yeah.
I could see that. Something you said that I was going to comment on, not comment on, but like prompted me to want to speak on. Mm, I forgot. But anyway, so if I meet somebody on this like Bumble for like friends or whatever,
Yeah.
and we go out, I think the kind of person I am, I will have a hard time seeing them as a friend even after the month of
Mm,
us hanging out because I would be like, well, I don't have any shared experiences with you. We haven't had any adventures.
yeah.
Like, I don't know if I could fully trust you per se, you
Yeah.
know?
Hmm.
Do you think you would use an app like that though?
Yeah, definitely. I actually have a note that says I'm an incessant friend because if I feel like we're friends, let's say past 200 hours or whatever, and I feel close to you, I'd probably gonna text you almost every day saying good morning, how you doing, have a good day. Just to be nice, I guess. But some people can't
Mm,
really, they don't know what to do with that. So I've had lots of friendships that just wither away because I'm too present.
that's so weird.
Even back in high school, I got dumped because the girl said, "You're always there." I'm like, that one hit me hard. I'm like, compared to what? What's the alternative? You don't see me ever?
Golly.
And back then, I didn't see her after school. We didn't talk on the phone after school. I could only see you in school at lunch or at recess. So it's like, I only have an hour a day, give or take, to spend with you. Wouldn't I want to?
Yeah, that's weird. I
Yeah.
mean, that's childhood stuff. That's childish mentality type
Yeah,
behavior.
yeah, yeah.
You know what's funny is that I actually suck at keeping in touch with people. So like for us, this kind of works because since you always keeping in touch, and I suck at keeping in touch, you know, as long as you don't ever feel like it's not being reciprocated, because I think sometimes that happens to me where I'm the one who's always reaching out to this person,
Mhm.
and I feel like they never reach out to me. So then I
Yeah.
just stop. I was like, well, it's obviously not being reciprocated.
Yep.
But I think for us, it kind of works because I do try and reach out to you though. It's not like it only you reach out to me all the
Yeah.
time, but it is definitely that you do it more often. And I think that works because I just suck at it. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like it's weird.
I mean, I feel like I'm
I
your
don't know how you do it. How do you do it, dude?
it's second nature to me. Like I just think about people I talk to and I just say, "Hey, say how you doing?" Check in on them every now and then.
Mm,
But I feel like
I feel that.
I'm your rabbit hole person. Because once I open my phone, I see 8 messages from 2 people, and one of them's from my wife. I know, okay, here comes the videos. A whole 15 videos, 20 minutes each. I'm like, how are you watching these videos? And I don't want to be a bad friend and not like indulge. So I have to watch all these videos, spend my whole day watching videos just to comment on them.
Golly, that's funny. You know, now that YouTube has the like TikTok type videos,
The shorts,
it's gotten even worse.
yeah, a heap of
Because now I'm
shorts.
just like share, share, share.
Mm.
But you know something funny? So my wife, and I hope she don't get upset with me for sharing this, but my wife has ADHD. She has it to like a greater degree than I do.
Uh-huh.
Um, well, mine is undiagnosed. Hers is actually diagnosed. And the reason mine is undiagnosed is because I refuse to go and get it diagnosed, not because I don't have it, but I just refuse to actually go to a psychiatrist.
Uh-huh.
But my wife has been diagnosed. And the funny thing is, out the day, she just sends me a heap of TikToks. I'm like,
Mhm.
damn, it's so annoying. I don't watch, at this point, I don't watch them at all. Like, unless she like tell me watch this one right now,
Yeah.
I just ignore them because I worry she's sharing all these with me. Then
Yeah.
I don't get stuck looking at TikTok all day too because of my like.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But but
So,
on your end though,
Dexter wants to know what MK means.
it means me no. So when I play video games, okay. So I guess we should start with Twitch. Twitch is where we originally thought we would be streaming from, like doing all the podcasting, and we would play video games together and stuff. Twitch is a website where people would basically stream themselves playing video games and make money doing that.
Yes.
But lately, Twitch has been evolving into like a site where people are doing like game shows, they're doing like live vlogs of their life.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing random stuff now. It's not just video games only. So the site originally was for video games though. So just keep that in mind. So when Kurt and I were playing video games back in undergrad, you know, when you start a new character, they'll ask you, what is your name? So I would always type me no, like I don't know, right?
Yes.
And that just became the name I always use for all my characters ever since. So
Mm-hmm.
now, even when I play games, I will use me no as my character, or I would use me noob, which is like easier to pronounce because sometimes people will be like, whenever you play that game and you have like the voice comms,
Yeah.
you'll be like, Minko, Minko. I'm like, my name is not Minko. But
Oh,
yeah, that's where it came from. So I just decided to put MK here instead of Mino because I didn't want people like mispronouncing it as Minko or other whatever.
yeah.
I didn't want to use Minoob because Minoob is like my alias from Mino and it's not really my gamer name. So there you go. That's why it's MK. And then tell them about Wanted. Where did Wanted come from?
So when I started Twitch, I decided to use Silence as my name because when no one else back home, it was easy for people to find me as Silence. I couldn't get that. So I also use Curex a lot on different games, which is a mixture of my first and last name together. I couldn't get that either. I didn't want to add numbers or any underscores or any X's. So I was like, okay, I couldn't get the name I wanted, and that went through. So I'm like, okay, that's my name from now on. So in short, people call me Wanted because I couldn't get the name I wanted. It's way too long to say every single time.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? When when Wanted was on Twitch playing video games, people watching him play, or like he would go to somebody else's channel and like just say hi or something. They'll be like, "Yo, that's a good name, man. Hey, shout outs to I couldn't get the name I wanted." It was funny to
It
see.
still happens to this day. I should say like a montage of people reacting to my name.
You should.
It's just crazy.
But yeah, I actually like the wanted name now because even like when you're on Twitch, when you could have like your little like frame of yourself at the
Hmm.
lower left or lower right, and you
Yeah.
could put a wanted poster around it. I
Yep.
think that was a cool concept.
Yeah. A lot of plays on Wanted, you know.
Yeah. I remember we were streaming with this guy we now call JA,
Oh my gosh, you
which
wild.
is short
Calm
for
down.
jackass.
You wild as hell.
I remember he was jealous of you because he was like, well, not jealous, but he was like, man, your name is the only reason you get more views than me because he
Hmm.
started long before you and was still like at one viewer, and you had like five, six viewers.
Yeah.
He was like, how you passed me, man? It must be your name. Like, I need to change my name. I was like, bruh, shut up. Well, back then I wasn't like shut up. Actually, I actually liked him a little bit back. Well, I didn't like him, but I was cool with him
Mhm.
at first.
That's crazy. So, in the New York Times, they found that friends shared the similar brain patterns, which we already know about ourselves from before because I'd share a video with you and you were like, I just watched it. And I think that's the algorithm as well. So what they did
Yeah.
was they had people do a test of the friends in their lives close to them, and that would rank the friends on their list. Then they made all the everybody watch videos, which is like sports videos, videos of cats, things like that. And
Hmm.
then they studied the brain patterns, and those who were closer friends had more similar brain patterns. Even after they corrected for any other factors that may explain the similarities, they still had that connection there.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what else is interesting? I feel like that also applies for like anybody you spend a lot of time with.
Hmm.
So like I noticing a lot nowadays, like my wife is becoming more and more like me,
Yeah.
and I'm becoming more and more like her. Like we kind of like converging like somewhere in between where we were.
Yeah.
Because when I first met my wife, she was like a super like extrovert.
Hmm.
She was always like talking nonstop. Everybody, she just like want to be their friend,
Hmm.
like going around to everybody and like, hey, what's your name, bro? Like like really extrovert.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And nowadays she is more like me, like, I don't like how to say it. Like I'm like a cautious person when it comes to making new friends.
Yeah.
And nowadays I feel like I tainted her. Like she's like
Mm.
so cautious about making friends. And I'm like, babe, it's okay. Like you could at least give them a chance instead of just assuming the worst from the jump.
Well,
I'm like,
you're
damn,
paranoid. So your paranoia gone to her now.
a little bit. I
Yeah.
remember the other day she did something paranoid. I was like, wait, are you me?
But it's the same thing. Like people that date, they eventually start looking alike. I don't know if that's like an evolutionary thing or whatnot, but it could be the same where you start thinking alike, where you have to be more cautious here or more free spirited here. Because for us, it was money. 'Cause, you know, I'm from like just live life, have fun, whatever. So when I came, we got married. She was extremely frugal, had money down to like the penny, and I was like, just have fun, let's go crazy, you know. But now it's
Yeah,
like I'm the one like, okay, whew, $20, and she's like, it's okay, it's okay. I was like, so it's like a complete switch over, a role reversal, trying to like I
yeah,
guess correct for what I did before.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny because even too, like I would say, like before being married, I was bad at communication. I'm still not the best at it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, because she is so good at communicating, for the most part, she also not perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody is. But she was way better than me when we first met, and she is way more thoughtful than I am. Like, she'd ask questions that I would never think to ask, basically,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
But because of like hanging around her more and more and more, now I started to be like more like communicative. Like now I started to be like more like in tune with like my emotions
Yeah.
in terms of like I could speak about them. Not that I want to feel them, but um so yeah, I think it goes both ways and it's definitely a good thing. And with you and I don't know, were we ever like different? Like I know I was always the wilder one.
Yeah. I was more. I was less wild, I would say, but I feel like our views on things like politics and world affairs and just overall wokeness, I think that's
Mhm.
changed because I came from back home, so there's not really much like controversy or any polarizing things that we have up here. So like I'll come in here to learn like new ways of thinking, of looking at things, but I feel like we've always been objective people and forward thinking people overall, so it was not much of a shift to make to be similar.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I think we do definitely help mold the way each other view the world
Mm-hmm.
because you're always a person who is like, I'm not going to assume good or bad about anything. I'm just going to like look at it and then make my decision based on the evidence that I gather, which
Yeah,
is how I feel everybody should do it. Like you're always like a neutral person.
for the most part, yeah.
And then me, I usually have like, depending on what it is, like a strong opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, like I need to try and be neutral after the fact kind of thing.
Yeah,
But I think because of like you being neutral, it kind of makes me more and more like pulled towards trying to be neutral instead of like having a strong opinion from the jump.
yeah. And we talked about this in terms of like going out. When you go to other friends, they're like, well, we might want to dance. I don't know, maybe one or two drinks. But like when you and I go, it's like, give me everything on the top shelf, please. No, put in one cup. It's like, what? You dancing? I dancing. I ain't gonna dance until you dance. And I was like, well, now I need to dance so that he could dance. So like, is that vibe, you know?
Yeah, I would say this too. We do hype each other up a lot. You know,
You,
sometimes, right? This man that texts me, I vex. I'd be like, at first, I'd be trying to calm him down. Then by midway through, I start getting vexed. Then we just hyping each other up. Man, after this, like both of us going back and
man,
forth,
and we like,
making
wait.
each other
After a
more
while,
and
we
more
like, wait,
vexed.
wait, wait. Why are we so upset about this? We should calm down. Man,
This is the opposite of what we should have been doing.
that's crazy.
Oh man. I wonder though, what I would like to do is so we have some friends on Facebook who are also like best friends.
Mm-hmm,
I don't want to call no names or nothing. People who know would know.
mm-hmm,
Um, and I wonder if we should have like a best friend episode where we just get like some best friends on with us
mm-hmm.
and just interview them and see like what similarities, kind of like how we have these questions that we're asking today
Yeah.
and talking with each other, what similarities they feel they have with each other. You know,
Mm-hmm,
like do they feel like they're becoming more alike? Do they feel like they were very different before
mm-hmm.
being friends with each other and now they're more alike?
Yeah.
Or like, I'm curious to see. I mean, it's going to be a small sample size, but I'm curious to see if other people have had similar experiences.
Yeah, and I feel like what kind of shared experiences they have had to get them to where they are.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
So anybody watching today, if you have a best friend who we also know, because I don't necessarily want to just be like a random person that we don't know. I want it to be people that we know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think?
I think at least one person that we know and then their friend. So,
Okay.
because more than
So we
likely, if
can,
that's their best friend and we know them, we know of the other person as well.
yeah. So anybody in the audience today who watching, if you want to be on the show and you want to do a best friend episode where we just kind of talk about friendship, um, feel free to reach out to either of us. You know, my name is Fion on Facebook. If you're my friend, you're gonna see, you could, message me. If you're not my friend, if you're just like, I don't know if you share this publicly, this
Well, the live
podcast.
is public for everybody on my friend list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it was public, and you wasn't on our friend list, you would not be able to find me on Facebook. So I guess it doesn't matter. I'll stop paranoia. I made it so that nobody can find me.
Oh my gosh. So we talked about good times. Is there any bad times you remember between us?
I mean, there's one time, but I can't really share that. But at the end of the day, we talked about it and it got resolved. It was that thing with Bath.
Oh no, no, no. That's different. That's just a miscommunication.
Yeah, but that's the only bad memory I have where it could have potentially gone south, but
Mm.
it worked out in the end.
I have one. So as we were close, we would share most things. So I think I borrowed you like $20 once,
Hmm.
and then I was waiting for you to pay me back, like just casually. But then we went to the store. I was like, "Oh yeah, here me money. You could buy it from me." And I was like, I just walked away. And you were like, "Wow." So we talked about like, how did I know that you even had enough money to cover everything? Like I didn't even think about all of that, you know? And like
Yeah.
I was like, damn. So I felt bad for doing that for a long time.
You gotta feel bad. I think back then too, we were still like budding best friends, so we didn't know each other as well.
Yeah.
So like for instance, we didn't have the idea of I can just spend money on this person and not expect anything in return.
Hmm.
Granted, to be fair, if I told you I was gonna pay you back, I should pay you back. That was my bad as well. Like I should take part of the blame there. I guess the failure was that we didn't communicate as well back then.
Yeah.
Like you could have easily just come to me and be like, "Yo, you told me you were gonna pay me back, and you never did." You know. But I think back then, being young, you don't communicate as good as you do when you're an adult. Like nowadays, I feel like we would just talk to each other like, "Hey, you told me you're gonna pay me back. Are you gonna pay me back or not?
Yeah.
If not, it's cool, but I just want to know."
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I hope you don't feel bad about it anymore because I
I, s-
don't even remember that.
I still, I know you don't, but I still think about it from time to time.
Hey, our memories shape us as well too.
Yeah.
I think I have a memory of something. Wait, let me see if I could think of a memory. Whereas, like, I know I should do better in the future.
Between us.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know. It sucks because my memories just disappear. Like,
Mm,
because I don't often like if I have like a bad memory, I don't like harp on it. Like, I don't keep like replaying
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So then eventually it just fades away.
My son
I
is
learned
going
the lesson.
crazy right now.
Huh?
I said
Your
my son
son?
is, yeah, he hasn't slept all morning,
What he doing?
chilling. He trying to chill with the adults.
Oh man, I love that baby. I love babies in general, man.
Mm,
Seriously, like if people didn't just assume men were like always evil, I would just like have like a bunch of babies and I would just be there like taking care of them. Like I'll basically be a nanny. I love babies. Like when babies cry,
mm,
it don't like make me feel like stressed out. It makes me like feel more like tender, if that makes
mm,
sense.
mm. I feel like speaking on memories, the only thing that you apologize for a lot is putting more effort in, or more work into like the podcasting and things like that. And that's the only thing that you say you
Yeah.
feel bad about.
No, I actually do feel bad about another thing.
Uh-oh.
The thing where you was hot and you were texting me.
Oh, no, no, no.
I feel bad. I feel bad about the way I handled that after the fact.
With
Like I
who?
feel like I
With
put
me?
all the blame on you, kind of
Oh,
thing, and I shouldn't have done that. So after I think about that, I'm like, I should have never done that. But I never apologized to you for it before, like, no, I guess.
but I didn't know about that.
I pretty much did put all the blame on you in a way. I mean, you was like, you took all the blame on yourself as well, but technically it was both our fault. Like, it wasn't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
you.
Man, I was hot.
That's another story. We need to make like a private like
Yeah.
Patreon or something
Oh my
and
goodness.
really tell some of the crazy stories and how people pay to listen to that because we have some crazy stories, man.
Crazy stories.
But then I sometimes I worry like if I tell people my story, are they gonna like judge me or like look at me differently? You know what I
Definitely.
mean?
That's what the world is.
Yeah.
You could hear him.
I could hear
Hello?
him a little bit.
Oh,
What he doing though?
crying. He's frustrated.
He's like, yeah, better pay attention to me. I slap that
I
milk out your
want to
hand.
sleep, man. Well, then go to sleep. Like he always
Dude,
gets so upset.
babies always doing that. Why do they cry when they want to go sleep? Just go to sleep.
Man.
They want you to pick them up, rock them. You gotta be doing the whole Harlem Shake while you like.
Oh, that's
They
too
gotta go to.
much.
You gotta be crip walking with a baby, like, dude, go to sleep.
That's
Is there
crazy.
anybody in the audience who have kids?
I don't know what the audience is.
Well, I'm gonna assume they do, but they just like in class, nobody want to raise their hand.
Everybody shy.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. So they even said that having good friendships is as important as diet and exercise.
I could feel that. I
Yeah.
wish they would mention sleep in there too. People often forget that sleep is part of the trio.
Hmm.
It's a triad of sleep, exercise, and diet. And they often mention diet and exercise, but they don't mention enough rest. If you, so I work for the military, and we recently, I work in an injury department, and we recently did a study. Wait, can I share this? Yeah, we recently did a study where we found that soldiers who got more rest
Hmm.
got injured less during like PT and other stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So I think we're gonna publish that data soon in a public forum. So I think it's okay for me to mention.
Hmm.
But yeah, basically, more rest means less injuries, and basically means that you perform better overall
Hmm.
when you do whatever you're doing, exercise or whatever. So it don't
Gotcha.
make sense to exercise if you're not getting enough sleep, basically.
That's true. True.
I mean, it does make sense to exercise, but you're more likely to get injured.
True.
Sorry.
Dexter says that he has kids or a child, and he said that we're on point.
Man, I can't wait to have a kid, man. One day I want to join y'all.
I feel like you have a lot of secondhand knowledge that's gonna be good for you, cause you worry a lot, but then you offer advice that's like on point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good. I did when I was growing up. I don't
Uh-huh.
know if you know this story, but when I was growing up, I actually did help a lot raise other kids when I
Mm,
was a kid.
okay.
So I know how to change diapers. I know how to hold them correctly. So you holding the head and the neck. Like I knew all of that from like a very young age. And that's why like a lot of times when I watch like movies and stuff where the men don't know what the heck they're doing, I'm just
Mhm.
like confused. Like, how
Yeah.
do you not know kind of thing?
I feel like those movies paint that stereotype though. They pushed a lot.
Yep. I mean, I started to realize that a lot of movies push a lot of different things. Like sometimes it'll be a movie where if they try and make a female hero, they
Uh-huh.
have to make like a dumb male character. It's
Yeah.
like, you don't have to though.
Yeah.
Like he could be a smart male character and she could still be the hero.
Yeah, exactly. One doing to outshine the other one,
Yeah.
and then you have like if it's like a white cast, you have that one funny black friend. It's like,
Hmm.
okay.
Oh man. Okay. Is there anything that you ever wanted to ask me but you never got around to asking? Or like anything you wanted to know about me?
Not necessarily.
I
I think we've
ain't gonna
been
lie, I don't
open books.
yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know why I asked that question because I don't have a question either.
No follow up.
No follow-up at all. Just a random, like, keep the conversation going question.
But I mean, I have questions, but then they get answered over time. So like questions about your upbringing, like your parents and things like that. But always eventually shared them just out of the blue. So never
Yeah.
was really much to ask.
Yeah, I think the only thing we haven't shared with each other, like our medical history kind of vibe.
Yeah, basically.
But to be honest, I don't know mine, so I can't help. My wife know mine more than me.
Again, no follow up. But
Reese, go ahead.
I was thinking about um one of our bonds was actually making fun of people, but not necessarily making fun of them. We just had since you're bad at names, we had to make up nicknames that you were good at when you could just learn the actual name instead.
You know what's funny about that?
Mm,
I remember people based on their nickname more than I remember people based on their real name.
you wild.
Like if you was to tell me Chibeli, who
Oh,
did I remember who that is? Like I do not know her real name.
oh my goodness. I
I
feel like
don't
we
know
were
her real
those two
name.
people, those two weird people in the cafeteria, just dying of laughter for no apparent reason. And it
Yeah.
wasn't even like we were together. Like I'll be over here on the table, you'd be over here on the table. We both see the same thing, look at each other, and then just crack up.
Yep.
Oh my god. Hop!
Yo, we gotta bring back Hap. We have to bring it back.
Man, that's crazy. Randall
It's
says,
harder
nice to
now as
see you.
adults, though. It's
How you
hard.
doing?
It's hard now as adults to bring back like Hap and stuff like that
Yeah.
because when I at work, if something happened, I can't be like Hap. Like they'll be like,
What?
Mr. Christopher,
You have
are you
Tourette's?
okay? Yeah, exactly.
That's what we were in college though. Let's hop. Everybody like, what? What's happening? Man. I
And
know
then
we
bam, bam, and
yeah.
people joke.
Yeah. Well that's all before the college thing.
Yeah,
What we
yeah.
actually did back in college that most people didn't really do was it felt almost military. You get your lunch, you sit at your table, and that's the table that you sat at all the time. I feel like everybody kind of did that. We were like, why are we doing this? Like, we go into the back of the cafeteria. We just sat there, and then nobody else sat there. Like, ah, okay, it's us.
You know what's funny though? I kind of like so as we get older, our personalities kind of change. We get more confident, stuff like
Mhm.
that. I feel like back then I was wild, but I wasn't very confident per se.
Yeah,
So like often I would see a group of people and I would just assume that they will not like me or like,
yeah,
you know, I would never even approach people and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Or like if I like, especially if I like somebody,
mhm.
super nervous, can't even talk. Remember that last podcast where I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
"What's your name?"
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
That was me. But nowadays it's like like as I got older, I realized like everybody is just a person. Like nobody is better than anybody per se.
Hmm.
Like even if somebody is better than you, like let's say they made more money than me or they have a higher status than me,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they're still a person.
Hmm.
And until like they show me that they're not interested in talking to me or whatever, I shouldn't assume that.
Yeah.
Like even now, oh, my wife ain't listening. If I was go talk to a pretty woman, which I don't do, wife, I don't do. No, it's
Uh-huh.
honest. Let me stop joking around because I gonna look like I actually do. But nowadays, like even going up to my wife and talking to her, like
Hmm.
when I saw her, I was like, damn, she looked good. Like I gotta go talk to her.
Hmm.
Granted, she did come and talk to me first. It's a funny story for another podcast.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even that she was interested in me. She was literally just trying to make a friend. Um,
Damn.
yeah, like she was just like, oh, I know him from my school. He's the only black kid I've never seen at any black
Oh
events,
my
kind of vibe.
goodness.
Yeah.
Are you not woke?
So yeah, pretty much. But I think my confidence grew. The only thing I haven't grown is like cussing people out. Like I still don't cuss people out. Like if they do something, I
Hmm.
won't like start raising my voice because I'm just not that kind of person.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
I wish I was.
Hmm.
If people at work say or do something that like piss me off, I don't like cuss them out. I would like pull them aside later and talk to them.
Yeah,
But then those same people would cuss somebody out.
yeah.
So it's like sometimes I'd wish I could do that.
Hmm.
But then on the other hand, I think the way how I handle it is fine as well.
You gotta go the better route.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think my confidence has grown over time and with more life experiences. And
Hmm.
I think once you come to that point where you like literally was about to be homeless, is like I don't have time to worry about what people think anymore. Like
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was about to be homeless. Like,
Hmm. That's so true, man.
but I know you told me that you like I remember one time I told you like sometimes when I was drunk, I would wish that I could be drunk all the time because like the way how I feel when I'm drunk is like I don't worry about stuff as much.
Yeah,
And you told me basically like that's how you are all the time, whether you're drunk or not.
basically.
I think that's a good quality. How do you do it?
I don't care.
Like,
That's literally so. In college, there were these two people. I don't want to say their names, but they used to MC a lot of shows and events, and
mhm,
they just didn't care what anybody thought about them. They were just having fun. I'm like, why can't I do that? So from like sophomore, no, junior year, I was just like, I'm done caring about anybody has to say. I'll just do what I feel is appropriate ish for the moment and just whatever happens, happen. If I have to ask somebody
yeah.
out, I'll ask them out. If they say no, all right. If they say yes, good, I win. So like just stop caring. Wear what I want to
Like,
wear, go where I want to go, talk to who I want to talk to, just stop caring.
do you think like that's a thing you could teach your kid? Because I know like especially when I was like elementary school, junior high, it was worse back then.
Hmm.
Like you always constantly, because I guess like popularity is a thing and
Yeah.
getting bullied is a thing. How do you do you think it's possible to teach your kid like, hey, just stop caring? Like,
I would say it depends on the kid and it depends on when in their life you come in with that philosophy. 'Cause I know
mhm,
kids that everything is their fault and they're always the problem. So like if they're walking and there are people talking and they get close and they stop talking, they're like, oh, they were talking about me. When it possibly could
mhm.
be they just stop talking whatever they were talking about. So
Yeah.
like it depends on the kid and the personality and it depends on how old they are. It's all variable. So I
Mm.
can't really say you can, but I know you can, but it's how and when.
Right. See, and guys who watching, that's basically a glimpse into the kind of conversations we have just randomly throughout the day.
Yeah.
Because like it's just a random thought will pop in my head, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, I'll ask him because obviously he has some children, so I defer to people who have experience with children when it comes to children because even though I could theory craft and be like, I would do this in this scenario,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes it's not so easy to like implement what you think you would do.
And I feel like that's another contrast that we have in our friendship is that you're always the I can do it. This is how to do it. This is the easy way to do it. And I'm like, well, you have to think about this before you can do this, and you have to think about that before you can even do that. And I feel like I have more things coming in from different perspectives, and you just
Mhm.
not always like you like solution based, and I'm like maybe, you know, and that gets you
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
to like the other maybes, and then you're like, oh yeah, maybe I didn't think about this and think about that. Even though when
yeah,
you're explaining, you also say, I'm not sure, but I think, and then you say what you think.
yeah. My wife is also like a person who is good at asking questions that people don't think about. So sometimes when I'm thinking through something and I talked about it with her and she posed a question that I didn't think about, I'm like, huh, let me sit down and consider that. And then it makes me make a more robust, because as you said, I am very solutions based. So often is like I come up with better solutions because of I like more feedback from outside things,
Yeah,
outside people, I mean.
that makes sense.
Do you think that men and women could be best friends? And how
Definitely.
would that work?
I mean, it's a level of respect that you need to have, and then you go from there. And also the experiences that you have together and the boundaries you set up.
That's the key word right there. Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, I would literally have to see somebody as like a sister in order
Yeah.
to be best friends with them
Mm-hmm.
because there's always the opportunity for like sexual attraction.
Yeah.
And unless I see you as a sister,
Mm-hmm.
I gonna I gonna feel that way, and I probably not gonna hide it, knowing me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think it's possible. I mean like two heterosexual men and cis
Mm-hmm.
male, cis woman,
Yeah.
cis female. Uh, yeah, I think it is possible. I just think it's something that you definitely have to put boundaries, and you have to make sure both people are on the same page.
Yeah, I don't feel like many people in those situations actually sit down and talk about their friendships because that's not what you do with friendships, right? You just
Yeah.
always click with that person, that's your friend. But I feel like you should have some boundaries on what you can do, what you can say. And I think back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, you used to like having your name capitalized every time. That was you, right?
I
Yeah,
still
so
do.
exactly. So I'm like, when I text him, I'm like, okay, let me make sure I capitalize his name and his wife's name. So I know that's what you like to, that's what you like. So yeah, like, still remember that. And that was like years ago.
Yeah. I used to have like a lot of, I still have peculiarities. Like, I don't like using the N word.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like people calling me the N word, even if they're black. I mean, now I've given a little bit more leeway
Mm-hmm.
because, it's like, okay, I can't, this is a fight I can't win.
Yeah.
Like, people gonna use the N word. I can't control other people. Um, but I just will, I know I could control myself, so I won't use the N word. I mean, sometimes I do use it, like when
Yeah.
me and you joking around.
Yeah.
Or I would say neighbor instead
Mm-hmm.
of the N word because I think neighbor is like more positive and still an N word
Yeah.
and sounds similar.
Uh,
Um,
Randall asked if you ever got caught with a girl in your room during a fire drill. I think that's a loaded.
like so much times. Dude, oh my gosh. I have a story, man.
Oh my goodness.
I nearly get kicked off a campus actually.
Oh my goodness.
Like I literally got a if this happened one more time, you gone scenario.
Jeez.
And it
Crazy.
did happen after that.
Oh my,
But
what you
luckily,
do?
luckily my aunt knew the director for the housing
Yeah.
and she like begged him to like let me stay.
Uh-huh.
And then after that I didn't get catch again. But man, I didn't get kicked off a campus, dude.
That's wild. Well, how much times do you have to, it's like four times, right? You have three strikes and then you're out.
I don't know. I had so much strikes I can't even remember, dude.
I think it's
I
like,
tell you, I was wild.
yeah, it's varying levels of who you are.
And I
But back
didn't
then, I liked the RAs back then because they were all, everybody would just try and get through the day, you know?
and to be honest, I didn't appreciate that rule. Like I get it, right? Rules are in place for a reason.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes I feel some rules aren't there for a good reason.
Uh,
Like we are a dry campus, we segregating boys and girls. Is like we're not kids, we're adults. Like at some point, you have to allow us to like learn to develop interpersonal relationships with people
uh-huh.
without necessarily sexualizing it. If you're separating us, then you're literally telling us this is a sexualized
Uh,
interpersonal thing that you're trying to prevent.
yeah.
If you have boys and girls mixed together, it's less likely that they're going to sexualize it because now it's just normal to be around girls. It's normal to be around the opposite sex.
Yeah.
So we could just have normal conversations without it being like, well, I trying to smash or whatever. But if you keep it from me,
Uh-huh.
anytime I get access, I going in. You feel me?
I used to like casually try to walk out of fire drills and just keep walking. Like, don't even stop to just get out the building, turn, let us go. Just yeah, God.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. I will come out with the girl, holding hands, skipping like, nigga, you ain't gonna do shit.
Oh man. Yeah, we have some wild stories to tell for real. So one of it,
Yeah,
let's
we do.
Patreon going and we'll probably dive into that.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
have said we could do our OnlyFans, but then that has a connotation that I don't
Dude,
think we
that's
could
not even
live
the
down.
same.
Which is funny because OnlyFans is not only for
Yeah, I know.
that stuff,
Yeah.
but it's just associated now. Um, but yeah, with fire drills, I get caught a lot. But the scenario that I was talking about where I nearly get kicked off, it wasn't a fire drill incident.
Mm,
It was me getting caught in the girls' dorms twice or three times or something like that.
that's crazy.
With a fire drill, I never got in trouble for the fire drills, like because our RA was cool. He was
Uh-huh.
just like, I ain't gonna
Okay.
report it. So
Yeah. That's it's just I don't know. And like the random room searches, like, come on, man.
yeah,
Come
like
on.
literally treating us like kids is like
And
how
prisoners
you
almost.
how you expect people to grow up and be mature, but you don't even like have expectations that they can be.
Uh, just wild.
Weird. But I mean, even with all that, breaking the rules was fun. So
It's not an
what about
endorsement for
what
breaking the rules though.
and I ain't gonna lie, I feel like most dudes, especially in North,
Mm.
had girls in their dorm. Like everybody was doing it.
I feel
So
like the problem came about more so with the guys being in the girls' dorm. So that just became like the blanket for everybody else.
yeah, I could understand that though. Like,
Mhm.
if a guy's in a girl's dorm, yeah, he might be visiting a girl,
Yeah.
but then what if he's a creep and he try to mess with another girl?
Yeah.
You know?
Hmm.
But I don't know. I kind of could respect that one,
Hmm.
but at the same time, we shouldn't have even been segregated to begin with.
After a while, we weren't for the most part. They built the East dorms,
Hmm.
and that was like co-ed dorms.
Yeah, but even in that dorm, wasn't it still like a girl side, boy side kind of thing?
Yeah, it was.
It's okay though. It's okay. East was fun too, man.
Oh,
That's
that's
some good
what.
memories in East.
Woo!
Pajama party.
Oh man, naughty or nice.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad social media wasn't like too big back then, because you know, a jam and you just getting caught in all kind of photos the next day, like, ah, man, I remember that's me.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I told my wife a lot of stories from my back in them days, and I swear she don't be believing me sometimes.
Why not? You changed that much?
I feel like because I'm so conservative. Like
Mm,
whenever we like around have friends, like around people in general,
hmm.
and like they're talking about sex or something,
Yeah.
I'm always the one who's like not saying anything because I'm like
Mm,
I don't like to talk about that kind of stuff. Or like what I'd be doing in my bedroom and stuff. Like I don't care about that kind of information being shared.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But my wife would just be like, "Oh yeah, sex is great. I love it." Like she's talking like just normal, like, babe, can you calm down? Like people don't need to know. Like, but I mean, I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
On the other hand, is like she telling other women, so I guess she like hyping me up.
Mm.
But I'd be worried because like I don't want to be in a scenario where you telling your friends and now they're trying to like sneak
And
DM
now
me
you
and stuff.
can't be
Like,
friends with them anymore. You're gonna lose your
yeah,
friends.
like
Yeah.
I trying to I know myself as a person
Hmm.
and my like inability to control myself in certain situations. So I just avoid even being in them situations. Like I don't have no female friends. I mean I do, but like I don't be trying to like hang out with them
Hmm.
often.
Yeah.
I don't seek female friendship because I know myself. Like I know if I get close to somebody,
Hmm.
something might may or may not happen. It's really up to her.
Yeah.
I mean, up to me too, because I should have self control. But I just rather avoid it completely. Not even put myself in a space where I have to exercise self control.
Yeah. Man. I wish we could go into details more, but it's we can't. Just can't.
No, we can't. Especially family watching,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
wife might be watching. I don't want to say anything that will make her feel uncomfortable or like disrespected.
That's so
So
true. So anything else you want to ask me? This is now or never.
no or never. Let me see. Let me think about this one. If I mean, I guess I already know the answer to this. I was gonna ask if we were able to come across some money, would you move here and live, and would we be able to live together in like a big compound?
We already talked about this multiple times.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, that's a dumb question.
So in the picture on the left, the old picture, I think you had hair back then. You had braids back then, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. What happened?
bruh. Hair is hot. I don't know how people with hair that survive. Like, I always feel hot when I have hair.
Man.
Even I'll say this, right? Even when I cut my hair,
Hmm.
like when I go to the barber and cut my hair, I'd feel cold. Like I'd be so cold, like shivering cold.
Oh
So
my God.
this hair right here keeping me warm right now during winter.
You wild. You growing a pelt? Man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
this is
crazy.
fur. This is literal fur right here. No, I don't like. I like hair. Like I like how it looks. I like how it make me look.
Hmm.
But at one, I don't take care of it. Like I don't comb my hair. I don't brush my hair. I don't wash it. I do
Yeah.
wash it, but like not often enough.
Hmm.
I don't put in the effort to have hair, so I just rather not. And I cut my own hair too, so like I save money that way, so I don't have to worry about going to the barber. Every once in a while, I'll go because my wife is like she rather me get a professional to do it because when I do it, it's just military style,
Yeah.
all gone,
No fades, no nothing, huh?
nothing, no shape up, nothing.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I have a natural good hairline though. I don't need to necessarily get shape up.
That's true. That's true. Is there anything you wish we did as friends that you thought about?
I wish we could have traveled more,
Mm,
but different circumstances prevented that.
yeah.
Being poor, uh, your status,
Mm,
um, that's only two things I could think of. Not having time, being in different places at different times, but I don't think that's a big barrier because we could have always like planned it around, like
yeah.
plan across the phone or whatever.
I think without
But
all
I
that,
wish,
we did a great job as of being friends to each other. Because if people saw me, they know that you were somewhere close by, and vice versa.
yeah, it's funny. So sometimes this is a funny story unrelated to our friendship, but it's still kind of
Mm-hmm.
similar. Sometimes whenever my wife goes by her sister,
Mm-hmm.
the kids always expect me to be there too.
Yeah.
So one time, my niece-in-law, I'll just say my niece, she was like, "Where's Uncle Fion?" And she's like, "Oh, he's home." She's like, "But he's always with you." That's what she's like. I was like, "That's so cute,
It
though."
is. It is.
I imagine like it's kind of similar with you. Like if you and I back in the days, like
Mm-hmm.
if you see Kurt like with Fion,
Yeah,
oh, he over there
exactly,
playing
exactly.
table tennis.
Yeah. Um, I guess we could end on positive-ish note. How does your so my wife knows that you're my best friend, and I feel like when it comes to best friends and then finding a wife or a girlfriend or something, how do you manage the balance in that?
I don't think I need to.
Mm,
Like, um, you know my thoughts on marriage. I guess the audience don't know, so I'll share it. For me, marriage is like me first, then my wife, then my kids, then family, then everybody else. And you're included in the family section.
gotcha.
So it's me, wife, kids, you, and my family, and then everybody else. Um, so for me, it's not really a balancing thing. It's just scenarios where I need to like, I don't know, choose a side, never come up. I'm happy that it never has to come up because my wife likes you, you like my wife, I like your wife, your wife. We all know each other from
Yeah,
UBI
exactly.
days.
Yeah.
Um, so to me, it's all like we all good. So I don't ever have to worry about that kind of thing.
Mm. I feel like
And also, like my wife also knows that I talk to you way more than anybody else. So like she's like that's the norm in her life. Like seeing me texting you all day and like
yeah,
leaving voice notes, like that's what
yeah.
she accustomed to. So it's nothing like weird.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like it's just understood, And I feel like
Hmm.
other friendships they don't have that connectiveness. So like there's resentment for friends, close friends, and like you have to choose almost. Like if you spend time with your friends, your wife get mad because you always spend time with them, and they don't take the time to actually prioritize in a proper way, and that's where issues come about.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
what I
actually,
wanted to say, sorry, was that our wives actually push us to each other even though we don't need it. Like go spend time with Fiona or go spend time with Kurt. Like they do that just to keep us here. Even when I was up there, the wife was like, "Okay, I don't want to be around because I don't want to bother you." And we're like, "Yeah, I don't think you can bother us." Like we just end up we in the same room playing the game with our phone together. Like you good. Like you good.
that's funny. Oh man, that's hilarious. Shoot, I forgot. I was gonna say something else.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It sucks like forgetting things all the damn time. Which is funny because my wife, that happens to her often, and I get so annoyed with her. It's like, how can you forget?
Yeah.
But it's ADHD, you can't really control it.
hmm
In my case, it might be something else, but who knows? Uh, we're talking about wives.
Balancing time.
I think our wives also like each other.
Mm. Yeah.
Like anytime you, me, and the wives are just here, like chilling on the video chat after like podcasts and stuff,
hmm
is always wild,
Yeah, it's
and it's
always
usually
them
them
talking.
doing it.
Yeah. And again, we're like,
And me,
yeah, y'all
me, and
good.
you
We
just
good.
sitting here like, uh-huh.
Oh,
My wife over here twerking and stuff. Like, babe,
oh man.
seriously?
And then my wife's like, yeah, get it. No,
Like your wife
stop.
is like, teach me, teach me.
Oh, this is good. Oh man. All right, we winding down now. Now is more for like normally or audience questions or comments or anything you want to say. I'll plug our we on YouTube, Twitch, maybe do Facebook once a month or so when we have a special thing to talk about because I feel like we've gotten some good engagement on Facebook. But this is every 2 weeks, different topic that turned into many topics as well.
Yeah, you can find us. We mostly on YouTube. I feel like YouTube. I feel is a primary
hmm
place.
Yeah.
Um, This time I didn't share the link with anybody because I wanted to see what the engagement would be like.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, Facebook, thank you guys for showing up and watching us. Like, hopefully, y'all had some laughs along with us.
Yeah.
Thanks for the questions. Uh, those were some good questions.
Hey,
But yeah, we really,
Sandra.
we really like, we really like participating and interacting with the audience. That's the most fun part of this.
Yeah. That's the goal from the beginning, just to have like a big Q&A going on, telling stories,
Mhm.
answering questions, etc., etc.
Yeah, and again, if you guys, if you, oh, so this is gonna be a plug here.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have a profession, like a professional experience in a specific field, and you want to be on the show, we could talk about the field. Or if you have a topic in mind that you think you're have a lot of experience in, or you're a professional in, we've had several professionals on the show before. We've had a psychiatrist, I mean, a psychology person. We've had a person who's he's a professional streamer. He streams for his living. We've had a person who was big on philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Shout outs to Kamal. Uh, we had a really good conversation, and he's actually the guy who gave us the format
Mm-hmm.
for how we want to do our guests, um, and other people. We had a person who was what's your friend name again?
Nick.
Nick. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke to us about creativity and about finding your passion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was a really nice one. If you guys want to watch it on YouTube, so if you want to be on the show, you feel like you have experience, you have some kind of professional in a field of interest, feel free to come on the show. It could be anything. We don't mind. Like this is called the rabbit hole for a reason. We like going down the rabbit hole, exploring new ideas, exploring new concepts. And besides that, if you have a best friend, we would like to do a best friend episode. So reach out to us about that as well.
Yeah. Cool. So we have about 10 more minutes of comments, questions, anything. I like the Facebook thing because you could see everybody that comes in to say hi and what they're saying, which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I never even knew that Facebook had this. I mean, I
But,
knew that I had it because I've seen some people on Twitch
mm,
get like deals with Facebook,
yeah.
and then they go to Facebook. But I've never watched anybody stream on Facebook, so I never knew.
This is Facebook Live basically, so it's just on my page all the time.
Cool.
But the algorithm only shows you so much people though, which is weird. So
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
speaking of friendships, Facebook only shows you 500 friends, tops.
Hmm.
Yeah. So if you have 2,000, you're only gonna see 500, maybe 50 at most.
Okay, let me make a note here. Delete every friend and just keep my top 50. Keep my top 500.
That's wild.
I don't do it for real though, because I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes on Facebook, I don't want to like talk to people who like I don't think that we're like close friends,
Mm-hmm.
but like I miss that person. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like Dexter, for example. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to reach out to him a lot of times. Alfonso, we still kind of talk here and there, mostly about League of Legends.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't want to give a list because then people want to expect their name to get called. But a lot of times that'll be like, I want to like talk to this person, but like I don't know, it just sometimes feel awkward.
Yeah, and it's like there's so many people who've had experiences in their lives, like they've had children, they've gotten jobs and things like that. And they don't
Yeah.
show up. You have to go to their page and look for them to see them, which is okay, but I don't know. It feels weird.
Yeah, I also kind of annoyed with Facebook. Like Facebook people posting a bunch of stuff that's like knee jerk or like
Yeah,
polarizing. It's like I don't know. I kind of over social media for the most part.
same. I
Mm.
only go there to promote, sadly.
Yeah, which is yeah, it is sad because I felt like so the idea of social media was to bring people close together and
Hmm.
strengthen friendship bonds and stuff, but I don't feel like that's what it is anymore.
Yeah. Have you ever had any friends that came from Facebook that you never met before, but you're still good friends with them?
Back in the day, back in the
Same.
day when it like first came out,
Yeah.
I made a lot of friends there. Like I still remember this guy named Brian.
Hmm.
I never met this guy. Uh, all I remember, he had ADHD. No, he had something worse than ADHD. Like he literally couldn't even work
Wow.
at a job because he would just like forget things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he was really like teaching himself like Russian though,
Mm.
and literally taught himself Russian. Nowadays, I know that he's living in Russia, working there.
Okay.
Um, he was good at computers and stuff like that too. So um, I actually reached out to him recently, like to see how he was doing. But the conversation felt weird. I don't
Mm.
know. We hadn't talked in a long time.
Yeah.
My level of wokeness has evolved, and he
Mm.
was saying some stuff that sounded problematic to me. So I was just like,
Mm.
back in the day, I'd have been like okay with this kind of talk, but nowadays it's like I'm not okay with it. So like ever since then, I haven't really been talking to him.
Yeah. Mm. Do you feel like there's lots of wedges that drives friendships apart? Or do you feel like not being in someone's lives allows them to drift from you in certain like headspaces?
I think like friendship comes in like seasons.
Mm.
Some friendships last for like all seasons, and some friendships like they're here for a while and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And I don't think that necessarily diminishes the value of the friendship
Uh-huh.
or anything like that. For all you know, you could rekindle that friendship. So I never ever feel like a friendship is completely lost unless like you definitely fell out. And I also feel like with certain friendships, whenever you like, and I might not be answering the question anymore, but like whenever you like stop being friends, it's almost like a breakup.
Mm.
Like that happened actually recently with me, and I don't want to give details, but it happened recently with me and a other friend
Yeah.
where we fell out. It felt like a breakup, but then we like made up, kind of thing.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So I don't know necessarily if there are wedges, but I do think like distance and meeting other people,
Yeah.
because you only have so much attention you could give. You know what I mean? It's hard to divide it
Technically.
technically. Well, for someone like me, definitely.
Yes. Oh man. All right. I think we should wind down here. This has been a great podcast. I was scared because we had no preparation, no normal research, nothing.
Yeah, I was scared too. I was like, I don't know what the heck we're gonna talk about. I only have one question in mind. Like we would just be rambling. Like I was really scared that we'd just be rambling the whole time. But I feel like this was actually a good
Yeah, yeah,
conversation.
yeah. Randall said it's a good podcast. But Randall, keep watching. We're on YouTube. Every video is on YouTube, broken down to smaller segments that you can easily digest. They got 2 minute long, 4 minute long, 10 minute long, 20 minute long. It depends on what we're talking about and how deep we go into it.
Yeah, and also often there's at least one clip where we crack a joke and is some crazy thing that we laughing at. This one had a lot of laughs though.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's more fun this time. This time definitely we didn't get dark. But we did, but
Yeah.
we've been good. All right, this has been Robert Roundtable Talks. Any last words?
Just thank you guys for watching, man. I really appreciate it.
Likewise. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a good day. Peace.